Daily Race C from this week on Gran Turismo at Austria, Spielberg, a very tricky track to negotiate to make sure that you stay within track limits, but I had a really good race using the controller, so I thought I'd upload the video and go through it. It'll be one of my most competitive races this week actually, and you can see here qualifying P2 on the grid with a lap time of 1:27.8 I believe, which put me near the top. Not a super competitive lobby, I'm still ranked B. You can see here, so we started the race behind the Danish chap I believe, and it wasn't a great start because the guy behind managed to get a good run on me over here, and I didn't want to fight him too hard, so I let him have the inside. I tried to get the old switcheroo back to the inside, but it was quite difficult, and he positioned his car reasonably well. He has a pretty cool livery. Might have to get that for some of my cars actually. I tried to hold around the outside and see if I could get him back again, but he's just positioned his car reasonably well and got a good exit. So at this point I didn't want to fight too hard, I just wanted to keep myself in the race and sort of settle down. This guy was an A driver, so I didn't want to do any unforced errors and chasing him too hard. Starting on the soft tyre, found that was a better strategy rather than starting on the mediums. I found when I started on the mediums I was just falling behind on the grid, and I found it quite hard to make up the positions towards the end. You can see here it's really difficult to stay within track limits, so you have to be on it. And again, like I said, I'm using the controller, which I found, interestingly enough, GT7, it's actually a lot more consistent than when I use the wheel. I currently use the Logitech G29, which is a good wheel, but I've been having difficulty with consistency. I always find that I'm always spinning out with the controller. It's a lot easier to catch the slides, so I thought for this race I would use a controller, and I just wanted to sort of show you that you can be competitive. So yeah, on to lap 2 now. Still trying to close up to the guy in front, just trying to stay with them in the slipstream. You can see that P4 is quite far behind. We're just trying to keep with these guys. P1 isn't actually pulling away that much, so I thought at this moment in the race, if I just stayed roughly in this position, I could potentially gain towards the end. So I just need to keep things nice and clean within track limits. It's a really difficult round here, particular corner that I've just gone through. You have to really feather the throttle nicely, and then even this corner here really tricky, because if you go in with too much speed it's so easy to go wide here. You've got to keep 2 wheels on the curbs, and you can see now they're having a bit more of a battle, P2 and P1. I just needed to stay there, but they were pretty quick at this moment in the race, and again they're sort of troubling each other, losing time, so it gave me an opportunity to pull in closer. And you can see here again, with the controller you're actually able to keep up speed with these guys pretty well, and setting the purple first sector. This corner I found really tricky for some reason. It only once I started watching the Ghost videos I could see that it's a bit of an awkward one. When we go through the corner again, I'll just give you a little tip on how to go through there a little bit quicker. And even this corner, really hugging to the sort of curve on the inside, and then just launching it, try and get a good exit. And again, just really trying to keep it together nice and clean through these corners, not overshooting it. This corner's really tricky, trying to trail brake and just hold it to the inside and then launch it in 3rd gear, and managed to get a decent exit here. Tried to go to the inside, he covers it, but then luckily goes back to the outside, and I just hold it onto this position here, stay on the inside. It gives me a little bumper at the back, but that gets me closer to P1, and I think overall that was a good move. Like I said, it was just consistency, not trying too hard, and now back into P2, so I just need to keep it nice and cool and hopefully stay with the guy in front, because like I said, he's not really pulling away. I don't think he had you know, ridiculous speed in his locker, so just trying to keep it together nice and clean. Now this corner here, as I mentioned, what you want to do is sort of angle your car on the braking to actually go left and then turn in as you trail brake into the corner. You find that you actually save a lot of time. That one wasn't the best example, because what you want to do is you want to sort of, if you can, mount the curve a little bit and launch off in second gear, and it actually gives you quite a bit of time. Again here, really well, you try to stay onto the curbs there, but I got a big punt from behind, and I thought he was quite fair, to be honest, because he could have easily overtaken me, but he decided to, I think looking back on it, he sort of eased off the throttle and let me continue on, which was quite nice. You don't always get that in GT7, as you all know. I really found it difficult in some of the races this week. I was always getting punted, particularly on sort of heavy braking areas, always getting punted, spinning. It was really difficult, so I really found it hard to try and get my ranking up this week. But yeah, like I said, this race I've just forwarded it a little bit. You can see now, just trying to keep up with the guy up ahead, closing in on him. Gap now 1.3, 1.2 seconds, so reasonable pace. Lap 5 now, and you can see the soft tyres are starting to degrade quite quickly, so you've got to be a little bit careful. I found that the soft tyres usually start to go around lap 7, so I would head into the pits around that time and switch to the mediums. Of course, mediums will be slower, you've got to be a lot more careful, but it's just not worth risking taking the softs too far into the race, where you could be sliding around and potentially spin out, which happened to me way too many times, like I said, this week, so didn't want the risk of that. So next lap I would be pitting on what I recall. Again, just trying to keep it nice and tidy, following the guy in front. He's doing a reasonable job trail braking into this corner. Again, he hasn't taken the best line here, so whether or not he's feeling the pressure now, possibly. I thought if I just kept it nice and clean, I could get really close to him and try and overtake him before the pit stops. You can see the gap now down to 1 second. Just needed to keep it nice and clean through this set of corners. Again, he's taken a wider line, which means that I've gone even closer. And there he goes, he slides out and he hits the barrier. Good moment for me. He must be very frustrated. Taking the lead onto lap 7. Trying to just keep it all together. You can see quite a few people heading into the pits now on the medium tyre. Ordered it now towards the end of the lap. Taking it easy on the pit entry, don't want to overshoot it too many times, so I've done that in the past and it's highly frustrating. Sometimes you just forget that you need to pit. Onto the mediums. Guy behind as well is also pitted. I think the gap there is about 2 and a bit seconds, so it's close. I'm hoping I can quickly acclimatise on the medium tyre, make sure that you maintain that lead. It's very easy to forget where to brake, and you can quite often overshoot braking zones. But I think this first corner, again, that's exactly what I've done. It's not the best start to the lap, but still maintaining the gap. Luckily, the race went on and I was able just to sort of extend the gap a little bit. Clean driving, no penalties, taking it easy. Again, not overdriving. It's so easy to overdrive on this circuit, but you just get hit with penalties and it's just not worth it. So the main thing is just focus on the braking points, try not to overshoot, Take it easy. Don't overdo it. Don't spin out. Otherwise you'll be very frustrated. Heading into the last lap now. Again, I just wanted to keep it together, but something very frustrating happens, and I was really devastated at this point. Has this happened to anyone else? Because this really, really upset me. Anyway, thanks for watching.